Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I hate this place.
Want to buy anything, or just laugh at our misfortunes?
Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I hate this place.
You need to talk some sense into your husband.
Can't get blood from a stone, Mogul. As it is, we can barely make ends meet.
That isn't my problem. I was clear when I loaned Garwin the money that I wanted it back by first harvest.
Let's see what I can do.
Mogul, I got those special poisons you asked for.
Why don't you say that even louder, so the entire town can hear you, idiot? Just give them to me, and put it on my account.
About your account, it's been a few months.
I said to put it on my account, and that's the end of it, understand?
Mogul, care for anything from my stand today?
Yes. Disgusting. I'd rather eat cheese than been sitting in the sun for a week.
Look, I know why you're here. I'll get the coin, I promise.
If you want that...
I work for Mogul. You got a problem, you talk to him. Mogul doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
I'll give you this warning only once. No, wait. I recognize the name, but I'm not sure why. I don't know. I feel strange just thinking about it. A temple, maybe. Here on the island, something about a temple? Fight well.
Well, you looking for my wife and I are doing the best we can to keep rape. I think so, but I can't remember how I know him. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think so. But the only thing that comes to mind is a shrine near the Earthstone. All sorts of useful things. Feel free to browse. If you've got something to sell, I'm willing to buy. Why don't we see what kind of deal we can make? The Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever. No, only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale. I work for Mogrel. You got a problem, you talk to him.
It gets lonely. That's not someone who lives in Raven Rock, I don't think. But it sounds so familiar.
Today?
Maybe. I can't help but think of some sort of temple on the island. Why would that be?
I know why you're here.
And don't stay away for too long.
I promise.
If you're looking for any exotic ingredients, just ask. I might have what you need. I think I can teach you a thing or two. I don't think so, though it sounds like a name I've heard before. I hear that name, and I see a temple here on Solstheim. What could that mean? After we left Morrowind, we found ourselves in Skyrim. We wandered around a bit and ended up in Morthal, where we took up temporary residence with Lami, the town's alchemist. I was fascinated by her work, and over a period of a few years, she taught me quite a bit. It wasn't long before we became homesick. We were the only Dunmer in Morthal. When word reached us that a settlement of Dunmer was forming on Solstheim, we were thrilled. It's been difficult, but I'm not regretting it one bit. In fact, I'm glad we've been able to stay and help. As you can imagine, the eruption of the Red Mountain took an awful toll on Solstheim. Hunting for game has been scarce, and the waters are apparently too tainted for fishing. According to Councillor Morvain, my husband's been Raven Rock's most important food source for decades. Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself. I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. Those creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark. That would be splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort. Careful with those netches. They may look tame, but they can seriously hurt you when threatened.
Miserable. Just miserable. I think so. But I'm not sure where I heard the name. I don't know why, but I'm thinking about a temple here on the island. Maybe it was just a bad dream.
You need to talk some sense into your...
Don't like it. I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that? Oh, believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone. We lived in a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, they attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone. It was horrible. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim's still...
You haven't seen Precious Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again. No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Cretius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble. No, wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name. I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this. A fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Rife, a very talented armorsmith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. It's the only tool tough enough to crack Stalrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cretius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Stalrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. You tell Cretius he better give that pickaxe back to me. Else.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine ash-grown foods?
Want to
Always
buy
a pleasure
anything,
to watch
or just
a
laugh
man
at our
who
misfortunes?
walks by.
Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item. It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point. A kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them. They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them. I think I maybe had a dream about someone with that name. It was very strange. Was I building something? A shrine down on the beach near the Earthstone? I'm not sure. The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I have it. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Oh, Glover Mallory gets me a few things once in a while. He usually has the most amazing deals that I can't pass up. Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. The biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim. Ah, you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock. And when they do, I'll be at the top of their list. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone. Take a look. Take a look. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone unturned.
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws. Otherwise, you'll answer to the Red-Or... I'm unsure. I swear I know the name, but I cannot place it. I don't think so. I'm not... The name has something to do with the Earthstone, I think, but I'm not sure what. Remember, we are watching you.
Adriel, a word, please.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler.
Quite busy at the
Could I
moment.
interest you in any
Why haven't
fine
you
ash-grown foods?
posted in my shop, like I've requested?
You and I both know we can't spare anyone right now. I don't care if you still have friends.
cost?
Vendel Severin. A pleasure to meet you, Serio. Do I? I was going to say no, but somehow I feel like I do. Does that make any sense? No, I'm sure of that. And yet, I think I had a dream of a temple, and he was there. Pleasant journey, Serio.
It gets lonely out here, you know, on this remote island. And don't stay away for too long.
My husband Vendel feared visitors would shun Raven Rock. I'm glad to see he was mistaken.
The entire island isn't covered.
Can I help you?
On behalf of House Redorin and as Councillor of Raven Rock, I bid you welcome. You've never heard of House Redorin? We're the mightiest of the great houses, and we lead the Council, the ruling body of Morrowind. This isn't Skyrim, Outlander. A group of powerful and influential Dunmer families have been ruling Morrowind for millennia. They embody a council made up of 5 great houses: Telvanni, Dres, Indoril, Sadras, and Redorin. Well, of course, with 4 other houses on the council, someone has to keep the rabble organized. Our house leads the council by virtue of our preeminence in battle, wisdom, and ancestral glory. Yes, I imagine it would to someone not of our people. If you're interested in pursuing the subject, help yourself to any of the historical volumes in my library. Solstheim is theoretically under my rule, but without revenue from the mine, I lack the resources to actually govern anything but Raven Rock itself. Not that there's much beyond the confines of our town anyway. Well, there's a small enclave of Nords to the north in Skarl village. They pretty much keep to themselves, and we both like it that way. Then there's Tel Mithrin to the east. The Telvanni live out there. Sort of a strange lot. But since we're both from Morrowind, we get along. Other than that, Solstheim is crawling with bandits and reeklings. But that's to be expected living in a frontier like this. It used to be one of the richest ebony mines in Morrowind, but it dried out years ago. Now, we're barely holding out here. Without the mine, Raven Rock doesn't feel like it can last much longer. Do I? What a strange thing. It sounds so familiar, and yet I cannot place the name. I'm not even sure. I can picture a temple, here on Solstheim. Must have been a bad dream. My doors are open if you wish to discuss matters involving Raven Rock.
If you intend to wander Solstheim, you do so at your own risk.
Yes?
May the wind be at your back, friend.
You there. You don't seem to be in quite the same state as the others here.
Building something, clearly. And yet they don't seem to have much to say about it. I'm very interested to find out what happens when they finish. Certainly not. Doing so would interfere with whatever is going on, and I would be unable to see how this all turns out. You are too young to remember the Nereid. He defeated Dagorhur and saved us all from the Blight. It's the homeland of the Dunmer. The lesser races call us Dark Elves. We built great works there, like Vivek and Aldrun. Many of them are destroyed now, either by Red Mountain or the Argonian invasion. That's that, then.
Our hands once were idle.
And when the world shall listen.
And when the world shall see. And when the world remembers.
That world will cease to be.
Here in his shrine.
That you have.
That seems inadvisable. Oh, fascinating. By touching the stone, you appear to have fallen under whatever influence is affecting the others. Ah, so you are able to resist the effect by exerting your will.
What my day was stolen.
I would not advise touching the stone again. The effects of repeated contact could be... Unless, of course, you'd like to contribute to my investigation.
Grows ever near to us.
It could be very enlightening to observe you. That's that, then.
Our eyes once were blinded.
I work.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way. No, wait. I recognize the name, but I'm not sure why. I don't know. I feel strange just thinking about it. A temple, maybe. Here on the island, something about a temple? Until next time.
Tell the best swordsman in all Morrowind is at your service. For the right price.
Mafala Clocu.
For the first time, he said you know what it means.
I do. Thank you.
Welcome to the wretching next... Did I know someone by that name? Someone that wanted something. Maybe I'm just confused. I can't be sure. Safe travels.
Murgle doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, home of the finest Sujamma that will ever grace your lips. The finest Sujamma to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujamma. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kinda hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujamma and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you. Welcome to the Retching Netch, Outlander. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Take a look. There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sujamma in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a Netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the Netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the Netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that Netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. If you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallus up at Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place. With the mine shut down, there's no telling how much longer Raven Rock's going to last. Hopefully, Councillor Morvain has a plan. I'll show you to your room, right this way. Welcome to the wretched... Haven't heard anything lately, but check back with me. You never know. Watch yourself out there. Looks like an ash storm might be brewing. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Now through him do we see.
Your hands once were idle.
I wonder how long this effect will last. Perhaps
Now
it is
through them
permanent, as
does
with
he
the
speak.
others.
And when the world shall listen.
And when the world shall see.
Not much contact with others around here. Got Skull Village to the north, but the Nords there keep to themselves. Councillor Mulvane is...
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws. Otherwise, you'll answer to the Reverend Guard.
Vendel Severin. Always glad to help, Serio. Not today. Too many things on my mind.
Pleasant journey, Serio.
Welcome. My wife and I are doing the best we... Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with.
Tell my father if he wants to speak to me, he should do it in person.
Next time you're hungry,
It's not
stop
from your
by.
father.
I always
Find my
have plenty of
pickaxe.
food for sale.
Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip.
He said he'll meet you where you met for the first time.
You tell Cresius he better give that pickaxe
I do.
back to me,
Thank
or
you.
else.
Most exiled... What? Oh, no, thank you. I need to keep my head clear. Remember, we're
You look
watching
able to
you.
venture outside of town. Oh, how kind. Thank Geldis for me, won't you? A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio.
Find my pickaxe yet?
Want to buy anything, or just laugh at our misfortunes?
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws. Otherwise, you'll answer to the Redoran Guard.
Welcome to
As the wife
Raven
to
Rock,
the second
traveler.
counselor of
Could I
Raven
interest
Rock,
you?
it would be my
My
pleasure
wife
to
and
help
I
you
are doing
any
the
way
best
that
we
I
can to keep Raven Rock
My
fed.
husband is second counselor.
Next time you're
so
hungry,
I certainly
stop
have
by.
the means to reward
I
you
always
if
have
you
plenty
find
of
my
food for
folio.
sale. Murgle doesn't lend coin to outlanders.
I'll give you this
Look
one.
somewhere else.
Take that swill and pour it down a well. All right, then.
The best swordsman in all Morrowind, is that your
Welcome to the...
service?
Sorry.
For the right price.
Gildas won't allow me to drink while I'm working at Venetch. Until next time.
Prospecting for ebony? You're wasting your time. The mine's as dry as a bone. Keep moving.
Just remember who's in charge around here.
They said why you'd leave your homeland behind to venture here is beyond me. But suit yourself, Nord.
What? Ever seen a Redoran guard before?
What are you gawking? You think you have it bad? Try walking the bulwark at night. We've got our eyes on you. Excuse me, but the temple is for followers of our... Get that vile liquid away from me.
Mirag. It sounds very familiar.
Not someone here, but...
I'm not sure I can recall.
I can't be sure. I know I've heard that name, but it doesn't feel real.
Does that make any sense?
Non-believers are never welcome here. Though our spirits may be low and danger lurks beyond the light, I am confident that they... The reclamations herald the dawn of an... Elder Arthroloth is grooming me to be his eventual replacement. Soon I'll be running the temple my way. This is House Redoran Tent. We've got our eyes on it. Misery. I'll give you me. Try getting assigned to straight next. I said to leave me be.
My apologies for Cretius. Well, that sounds lovely. Thank you. That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine. He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. We came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them. Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was sent to investigate. There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Gratian Corellius. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep? There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. Cretius is convinced it's a story cooked up by the company to cover up something else, but I don't know. My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. I love him dearly, and I support everything he does. But I can't let him chase this silly idea, or he may end up joining Gratian in a rocky grave. I'll gladly share my knowledge with you. To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was. After refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Counselor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love. Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there. In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othraloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the Tribunal vary widely. I think so, but from where? I can't recall. It's difficult. Something about it doesn't feel right. A temple here on the island. That's all I can recall. Be careful out there.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Maybe. Been difficult trusting people lately. They think I'm crazy. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map. A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine. Gratian Corellius. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across across Tamriel, and he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago. The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall, but I know better. My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key. It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they locked that section of the mine off from everyone else. It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance. Finally, someone who believes me. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone. Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for. I do. I want to know what happened to Gratian, and what the East Empire Company is keeping from all of us. Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost. He's begging for patrons again, eh? Well, I suppose I could have just a bit. The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skull in the first place. Good. Now let me get back to what I was doing. I recognize the name, but I don't know how I know it. It sounds so familiar. It's so strange. I feel like it's from a dream. Something about the Earthstone and a shrine. That's it. That's all I can think of. She thinks that old age has addled my mind, that I'm seeing things when there's nothing to be seen. I realize she cares about me, but she has to understand that I can't rest until I find out what happened to Gratian. Then I'll settle down peacefully and never set foot in this mine again. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, even before I discovered Gratian's old things. I just hope both of you don't mistake my enthusiasm for insanity. Look, I know I don't have much to go on. I have that unsent letter, and that's really it. But I also have a miner's instinct that's run in my family from before Gratian was even born. I may sound like a crazy old man to you, but I'm telling you, the tunnels here are solid. They would never collapse like that. Be careful down there. The mine can be treacherous. Try the lower sections of the mine. I've never been able to get that far.
So, another seeker after knowledge enters my realm. I am Hermaeus Mora, Prince of Fate and Lord of Secrets. This is Apocrypha, where all knowledge is hoarded. Perhaps you will prove clever enough to uncover the secrets hidden here. If so, welcome. Perhaps you are a fool or a coward. If so, you are in peril. Read your book again and escape before Apocrypha claims you forever.
That's it! Ha!
Golgorra, madness take you! I hate to break it to you, but there isn't a scrap of ebony left in the mines. You might want to just move on.
You lost? You're back. Please, tell me what you found. Let me see that. Huh, I knew it. Gratian's death wasn't because of a rockfall. It was just a story to keep people away from the tombs. Now that I have his journal in hand, I can get some closure from the East Empire Company. Make them pay for lying to everyone. Thank you. Now, I believe I owe you a little more than a debt of gratitude for all that work you did. Here, it's not much, but it's the best an old retired miner can do. He's begging for patrons again, eh? Well, I suppose I could have just a bit. Those cowards left decades ago. Every single damned one of them. The moment the ebony mine dried up, they pulled up stakes. Ridiculous. Solstheim is still rich in ebony ore. I know there's more down there. I can smell it. I come from 3 generations of miners. I'm telling you that the East Empire Company was wrong. They just didn't want to spend the coin trying to find it. Our home has stood in Raven Rock since the colony was founded. Grayson helped build it with his own 2 hands. After Grayson died, he left behind a wife and a son. My grandfather, Relicus. Relicus lived there for quite a long time, working in the other sections of the mine, until he was slain by Reavers. I never knew my father. My mother and I always lived alone. I asked her about him many times, but she seemed angry and refused to speak about him. So eventually, I let it go. When I was old enough, I began working in the mine, hoping to make my fortune and eventually move to the Imperial City. Unfortunately, yes. I only had enough coins saved to send one of us back to the Imperial City. So I sent my mother alone. I wanted her to see her homeland before she died. Until I met my darling Aphia, yes. I suppose you could have called me a bitter old hermit. Now I'm just old. The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skull in the first place. Oh, very well. Here, tell him I hope he drops the thing on his foot. Mark my words, Raven Rock isn't finished yet. You all right? You look like you might be sick.
If it wasn't for the bulwark, we'd be digging our houses out from beneath the ash by
now. Glover Mallory's the name. If you're So, you finally tracked down old Cretius, eh? Quite a character, isn't he? Tell you what, since you went through all the trouble of finding it for me and all, you keep it. I just wanted to remind that codger you can't just go around taking things from other people. Now that you've delivered the message, I'm satisfied. Besides, that pickaxe hasn't done me any good in years. Maybe you can put it to good use. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip. Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs. Weapons and armor to me. Either you're here to get... Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs. Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
If you intend to wander souls...
I work for Mogrul. You got a problem? Mogrul doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
I'll give you this warning. Take that swill and pour it down a well.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, my lord. If you need anything, Master Geldis will be happy to help you.
You got a good thing going here now.
Geldis.
Glover Mallory's the name. If you're looking for a smith, I've always had a steady stream of work thanks to the Veteran Guard, so it hasn't affected me much. However, I've seen the smile on people's faces, and there's hope around here once again. Something we've been lacking for a long time.
In the way of companionship, you should be happy for.
Bring your weapons and
How
armor to
about
me.
it's
I'll
busier
fix it
now?
up right.
Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks. Things are picking up for now. All I'm wondering is how long it'll take for House Redorin to begin ignoring us again if the mine runs out of ore for a second time. The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I have it. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Yeah, so, what can I get you? Got everything from potions to pitchforks.
Your contribution... Not today. Too many things on my mind. Pleasant journey, Sergio.
If you ever need... Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with.
Young daughter of yours doing?
What in the name of the Black Hands is that supposed to mean?
Next time you're hungry, stop by.
I was just making a conversation.
Well, tell Geldis that Miri says she really appreciates it. And don't stay away for too long.
You got a good thing going here now that you've reopened the mines. Don't let it go to waste.
My wife's quite the alchemist. Thanks to her, my ash yams are growing quicker than ever
Welcome
before.
to the Retching Netch Corner Club. Perfect. All that's left now is to go ahead and wait for the patrons to come in. As promised, here's a little something for yourself. How do you think? It's a blessing. I've got regular paying customers again. Thirsty workers at the end of the day, and more coin than I can count. The Veteran Guard have spotted a pack of werewolves in the mountains. The hunters up on Frostmoon Crag might know more. The ash spawn attacks on the bulwark are getting worse. Captain Veleth is trying his best, but I think the Veteran Guard are overwhelmed. Come back anytime. My doors are always open.